Hello there, my name is Chris Palmer, and in today's search engine optimization SEO tips video, I'd like to discuss 4 different things. And those 4 things are going to have to do with the Google dance, manual actions and or manual penalties or penalties, algorithmic penalties, and the disavow tool. So first and foremost, what I want you to understand, I get this question so much, is I'm seeing a fluctuation with my rankings. Chris, what should I be doing? So I want you to take a look at Exhibit 1. This is Exhibit 1 right here. It's right here. Now I want you to take a look at this. As you can see, there's an up and a down, and this is pretty common. And what this is called, or often referred to, is called the Google dance. All right, so this is the dance. Now, the Google dance actually happens when you are introducing factors. So if you're building more pages, if you're editing content, if you're building links, right? If you're adding or introducing factors, you're going to see a Google dance. Now, one of the tips that I want to give you is do not start disavowing backlinks. Do not start changing your content. If you're seeing an up and down like this is probably just the Google dance. This is very normal when you're introducing factors. So please, if you're just seeing an up and down movement and you're not building new content, just let it sit. Launch your pages, build your links, wait for it to level out. All right. Let me go ahead and just show you briefly exactly what that looks like. I was working on a project until I was disqualified, and I'll give you a look here. I was working on a project until I was disqualified because it was an older domain. I want you to take a look at something. So if you take a look at the average position as I was introducing factors in the very, very beginning until I found out around in here, look it's up and down, up and down, up and down. Why is this? Because I was adding new pages, I was adding new content, and I had a good friend of mine sending links. When the factors stopped coming in, you can see it started to level out. This is simply just a Google dance. Just let it be. Now, let's talk about this very briefly because this is very, very important. Disavowing. If you're seeing the Google dance, this is normal, but don't go out and start disavowing links. There's only one time you need to disavow links, and I have a little bit of tin hat theory to go along with this. All right, so stick with me here. Let me walk you through that. So, at only one time, if you come to your search console for your website and you see this manual action, an issue is detected, it'll look just like this. It's inside of your search console. All right. If you see this, this is the only time, in my opinion, that you should be disavowing backlinks. All right. Or if you're in a very competitive market, if you're seeing backlinks magically appearing, right, that are relatively high quality, you might want to nip them in the butt. But let me go ahead and discuss what I think about this. This is a little bit of tin hat theory. And the tin hat theory is this. If all the bad links or if all the spam links, every time somebody gets one, or if you go through your whole profile and start disavowing them, what are you doing? You are giving Google a itemized list of anything that's considered spam. So it's not that they're manually covering it, but it's going right into the corpus. It's going right into the algorithm. Hey, these are spammy links. Here's what they look like. Here's a spammy link. Here's what it looks like. There was a manual action. Oh, here's what was submitted. Add it to the corpus. Add it to the training data, right? You're feeding Google. So only if there's a problem, only if you get a manual action, only if it's harming your business, please take it easy on the disavow tool. Now, let me go ahead and cover this because we've talked about the Google dance, we've talked about disavowing, but what about a algorithmic penalty, right? Because there's a manual action, and I want to talk about this. So there's manual actions, and then there's algorithmic penalties. So let's go ahead and take a look at these 2 diagrams. This is from SEMrush, definitely one of my favorite tools of them all. And if you take a look at these 2 charts, these 2 charts are going to tell the tale of what you really need to be looking for. All right. Actually, you know what? Let me get all 3. Let me get all 3 because this is really what we're talking about today. It's all about what you're seeing here, what you're visualizing here. All right. These are the tips that I want to give you. All right. So if you take a look here, if there's a gradual decrease, and this is a 1 week, all right, we're looking at a week, or 1 month. If you're looking at a month and you're seeing a gradual decrease on specific pages, All right. If you're seeing a gradual decrease in rank and traffic, this could be due to an algorithmic penalty. Then you need to go back and you need to start looking at, what did I do? What have I changed? Have I changed anything title tags? Have I changed any H1s? Have I changed anything drastically with the on page? Has something changed with my technical aspect of my website? You know, the codes. Check my server logs. Has my site been hacked? Is there backlinks that are hidden that shouldn't be there? Right? You need to be looking at your pages. Is there something wrong that I am inducing or getting a algorithmic penalty? Along with that, you need to start looking at your backlink building. What kind of links have I built recently? This is why you want to track every single movement that you do. You want to be able to implement and then track, see the outcome. So that way you know, hey, was it content that was done? Was it links that was done? This is why you do not want to just willy-nilly just be doing stuff to your websites. You really want to be implementing things off of a process or a strategy and working with vendors that you trust, whether it's content, whether it's links. So this would be more algorithmic. It's a steady decrease. This needs to be analyzed. Now, over here to the right, if you take a look at this image, this is a manual action where the whole site, everything just boom, tanks. This needs to be dealt with immediately. And again, what you'll run into is you'll run into this, and you'll see that the entire site search traffic has drastically dropped. So if you're seeing this type of thing, this could just be simply an algorithmic penalty. Really go back through your processes, through your logs, double check your work, make sure everything is up to par. Maybe there was also a update recently. Don't just start changing stuff. If you're seeing an algorithmic penalty, then go back. Like if you're seeing a slow decrease, you need to be checking the trends. Do you have a seasonal product? Do you have an item that is popular sometimes and less popular other times, right? Or have you been building links, or have you been trying out new content? Have you made any changes on page? You should be logging everything so you know where you have potentially messed up. Now, along with this, it's the same exact thing. Keeping track of everything is going to certainly help you, because if you run into a manual action where something like this happens, and this could be certainly very hurtful to your business, if you're seeing, hey, I have a manual action, I noticed that my traffic, if you take a look here, has drastically dropped off, not a gradual decrease, which could be algorithmic. But if it just suddenly, bam, then there's probably a manual action. You need to go back into your logs and see exactly what happened. But this is completely different than what we talked about in the very beginning. If you're seeing on a day-to-day basis, it's up and down, up and down. This could be because you're building links. This could be because you're introducing new content. If you're introducing new factors, expect to see an up and down rate just like this. This is called the Google dance. So that's pretty much going to cover everything. I really wanted to discuss this. I've been asked multiple times. My site's going up and down. At no time, unless you're seeing a steady gradual decrease, should you go in and start disavowing, or should you start going in and changing content. Let things settle. Give it at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks after you implement a process, after you implement your systems, after you build your content, your links. Give it time. If you're just seeing it up and down, it's simply just the dance. You've introduced factors. If you see a sudden drop, it could be a manual, but if you see a steady decrease, this could be an algorithmic penalty. So my name is Chris Palmer. If you're seeing any of these things, you want me to take a look, or if you have a question, leave it in the comments below, and I most certainly look forward to seeing you in the next SEO tips, search engine optimization tips video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.